Okay, we're going to demonstrate the proper way to pull data cable through a conduit and probably through the wall. And so we have two different types of fish tapes available. One is a fiberglass fish tape, has a bullet end on it already, which is a very nice one to use. I'm going to show you how to use the steel tape. This one here, you don't need to do the first step, but either one of these is acceptable. This one's a really nice choice. Again, if you're using the steel tape, we have a hook here which we need to take care of because when we're pulling in with the data cabling, we don't want to hook any of it. It also will catch on all the pipe in the box and stuff. So the first thing we'll do is take some electrical tape and we'll tape over the open end. Okay, once we've done that, we shouldn't hook anything going in and out. So also left myself a little hole there for the pull string that we're going to need. So some of the things we're going to need: fish tape, we're going to need the pull string, we're going to need some 3 cables, and then we'll show you how to get after doing that. So the first thing we'll do is get the fish tape into the conduit. Then we'll go up onto the ladder. And we'll run the fish tape into the conduit. Okay, run the fish tape into the box. We can take the fish tape, we can grab our fish string, or the pull string, and data cabling. Unlike electrical, where you probably just pull the electrical wire through with the fish tape, we don't do that with data cabling because the jackets are easy to stretch and to damage. So we use pull string. So the first thing you'll do is just tie your pull string onto your fish tape. Okay, once you've got that done, we can pull the string into the pipe. Okay, once we've got the pull string through, you can cut it if you want. I'll take the time and untie it. Okay, now what you want to be careful of is that your pull string does not go back into the pipe. It has a tendency to fall back in there. So a good idea is just to tie it off on the rack while you're working with the other side. Now what we can do is we want to give ourselves enough pull string because we're going to have to tie the cables to it. So a good idea is to give yourself some pull string extra. Okay. Now what you'll be doing is taking 3 cables and we'll be pulling those into the conduit. So the preferred method to do this is to take and stagger the ends of the cable about 3 inches. Okay, at that point, if you want, you could, so that they don't move around for you, put a piece of tape on them. Now, if we were doing this in the field, what we'd want to do at this point is we'd want to make sure that we mark these cables so we know what cable number we have at the other end. So these are probably going to come out of a box. So we'll mark the end of the cable, and then we'll mark the box with the same number so that we know which cable is which when we get to the other end. So once we've done this, what we want to do is take our pull string and we want to tie at the end down here at the bottom. We want to tie a regular knot onto the cables. if we're making a long run, even on the short run, it's really a good idea to tape the knot so it won't slip. Now, if we're doing really long runs, I recommend you do this on every knot. So what we're going to do now that we have that taken care of or tied on, what we're going to do is something called a half hitch. Basically, you just twist and you put it over the cable. When you pull it tight, it's going to pull tight, and the tighter you pull, the more it's going to pull on the cable. So again, you're going to do a half hitch. And what you want to do is you want to do a couple of those, and then you'll want to put one right on the transition. In other words, where it goes from 3 cables to 2 cables. This is a good place to tape again, because we do not want this to catch while it's going through the pipe or through a wall or any place we don't want that to catch. So it's a good place to put a little bit of tape. Again, half hitch. Put it right on the next transition. Again. A little bit of tape, and we want to cover the end of that cable so it doesn't catch. Data cable folds back really easily. It's really soft. So we want to make sure we have that covered. And then one more on the very end. Of the cable, and again, taping that end. Now what we've got is a pull string with cable that will follow you virtually anywhere. So what we'll do now is we'll move the ladder back over, and we'll grab a hold of the pull string, and you may need to help feed it a little bit at the bottom. It's a good idea to leave yourself enough pull string to be able to work from the floor. What you have to do is get that started in there and pull your cable into the conduit. Watching again for curling and knotting. We don't want the cables to curl down here or make a tight knuckle right there, because that will destroy the twist rate of the cable. So again, watch those as you pull it in, and there you have it. So there's what it should look like when it's finished. Okay, for the wall part of the installation, if you've ever used any, they're called fish sticks. If you've ever seen them or not used them, they're fiberglass sticks. They only bend so far, but they're flexible. So one thing you don't want to do is you do not run these through the conduit. They do not take the corners, they will break. They're very dangerous if they break, because it's fiberglass. It's not like a wood sliver, so be careful with these as far as breaking them. Also, they have 2 different ends. One out of here, it's called, it just has a hook end. When you're in an insulated wall, I would suggest not using this. This will hook the insulation and tear it out of the wall. It'll just be a tough pull. They also make what is called a bullet end. You can see it just screws onto the tip, into the tip, the end, and it has a little hole in it. And of course, these rods screw together to make them longer as you go through the wall. So we're just going to show you how the fish stick works through the wall, and then the procedure to pull the cable is the same as the conduit, so I won't walk through that. I'll just show you how this is pushed through the wall. So again, we're going to take this and we're going to find my hole in the wall that I have. And if you want to, you can go through the rack if it makes it easier to do. Again, you're going to run that bullet through the insulation. And then you'll have to come down to the hole that's here, reach in and find the fish stick at the end, work it up. Till you get to the end, you can pull it out like that, tie your string to the bullet hole, and then go to the top when you get string tied in and pull it out, and then pull in your cables as you did before.